sports fans. We are ready for NFL picks for week number 9 in the league where they play for pay. And let's get right to it. I had another tremendous week last week. 6-3 straight up against the spread. 2-0 in my teasers. 2-0 in my money lines. And 2-0 in the over and under. That got me to 12-3 for the week. One game tonight. That gets me to 94-61-2 against the spread for the year. Without the spread, I'm something like 115-40. The college football, I was on fire this week. 5-1 against the spread. 34-19-4 against the spread for the year. Without the spread, I'm 44-9-2. So I have been hot lately. Absolutely rolling. I'll tell you, the teasers have been like gold for me this year. I told you to take New England and Denver in some teasers. I told you to bet Dallas and Denver in some money lines. I did that. I won a couple of ways. So a tremendous week for me last week. Without further ado, let's get to our picks for NFL week number 9. There are 6 teams with a bye. Chicago will have a bye after tonight. Cincinnati with a bye. Washington with a bye. Of course, Cincinnati and Washington tied yesterday. New England with a bye. Houston with a bye. And Arizona with a bye. And Arizona needs a bye. 3-4-1. They are atrocious on the road. Got manhandled yesterday by Carolina. And remember, they got manhandled by Buffalo on the road this year. What's with Arizona? They should be better than this. They play good defense at home, but on the road, they just get pushed around. And they let a couple games slip away at home. So Arizona 3-4-1. Very disappointing. Anyway, let's get to the picks. Let's go to the Thursday night game. Like I've said all year, I don't like the Thursday night games. I think the play is very choppy. It's very sloppy. The road team has a very bad disadvantage because they have to travel. It's a short week to begin with. The games on Thursday night have been unwatchable. Thursday night, Atlanta on the road, -3 at Tampa Bay. Atlanta up to 5-3 with a very nice win against Green Bay at home yesterday. They hung on and won. We figured this was going to be a tough battle. I mean, an offensive battle. Both teams going at it. Atlanta made the stop at the end to secure the win. I almost thought Atlanta 3 weeks in a row was going to have a heartbreaking loss. They did get the win. Nice job by Atlanta. Tampa Bay down to 3-4. Lost to Oakland in overtime in one of the wildest games of the year. What a wild game that was. As far as this game, listen, I usually take the home teams here on Thursday night. The home teams have won most of the time, but not in this case. I just think Atlanta is better than Tampa Bay. I just do. I like Atlanta's offense. I like Ryan. I like Jones. They showed me a lot with the win yesterday. They've showed me a lot this year, Atlanta. They've been very, very competitive. They've been a surprise. A lot of people thought they would be a very bad team. They look like a pretty good team. Tampa Bay, listen, I don't think they're ready yet. I don't think they're ready to do anything big. I think Atlanta is just better at this point. So I'm going to take Atlanta -3 against Tampa Bay. That's pick number 1 on Thursday night. Let's go to the Sunday games. Let's go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Some of the best fans in all of the NFL, where the Kansas City Chiefs are -8 over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Kansas City up to 5-2, beat Indianapolis on the road. We'll keep an eye on Alex Smith. He has a concussion. Kansas City, since getting bombed in Pittsburgh, has really picked up their play. That AFC West is loaded. Jacksonville, well, the same old story from them. They're 2-5. How bad of a game did they play on Thursday Night Football against Tennessee? How bad were they? What was this game at one point? 30-0? Jacksonville cannot get out of their own way. And please, all the NFL people, stop telling me how much talent Jacksonville has. Enough. They're 2-5 again. They look like an awful team again. Please stop putting them on prime time. I don't want to see Jacksonville on Thursday night. I don't want to see them over in London. I don't want to see them on Sunday or Monday Night Football. Please, enough Jacksonville and enough telling me how much talent they have. Here, you got to go with Kansas City. Like I said, keep an eye on Alex Smith. I've been hot with my teasers. Do you think the line's a little high? Move this game down. There is no way Jacksonville is going into Kansas City and winning. Kansas City is pick number 2. Pick number 3. Let's go to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Vikings are -7 against the Detroit Lions. Minnesota 5-1. Remember, they play tonight in Chicago. We expect them to bounce back tonight. Remember, they had the loss to Philly last week where they got manhandled. Detroit, they're down to 4-4, lost to Houston. Detroit was on a run. They won a lot of home games, but again on the road they sputter. Remember, they couldn't score against Chicago. Didn't do much here against Houston. Detroit down to 4-4. This is another game you might want to tease down. Move this line down to 1. You got to think Minnesota at home is going to win. So I like the Vikings there. Probably going to move that line down to 1. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. Not too far from here with New York Giants, a -3 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Giants 4-3 off a bye. Remember, they won against the Rams in London last week. Philadelphia down to 4-3, had a heartbreaking loss to Dallas in overtime. A game the Eagles led for a lot of the game. A game the Eagles must feel like they let slip away. The Eagles had this game. They had a double-digit lead. They let it slip away. They couldn't finish. That was a bad loss for Philly because now Dallas is 2 games up on them in the division. Philly could have had that game. They got to be stewing over that loss. I'm going to go with Philly here, +3 off that loss. Philly controlled most of the game against Dallas. They just couldn't finish. Giants are so spotty. They're up and down. The Eagles usually have their number. Eagles have won a lot in the Meadowlands recently over the years. I'm going to take the Eagles here. I think it's a very close game, a 1-point game either way, so I'll take the Eagles +3 in the Meadowlands. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go to the dog pound in Cleveland with the Dallas Cowboys are -7 against the Cleveland Browns. Dallas can do no wrong. They're up to 6-1. They've won 6 in a row. Like I said, had to come from behind win to beat Philly in overtime. Dallas has been unbelievable this year, and they've been very good to me. Every time I take Dallas, they cover. Cleveland 0-8, lose to the Jets. They were up early, let the game slip away. Here we go again with Cleveland. They just cannot catch a break. They've been close a lot this year, but they can't seem to get over the hump and get that first win. They're 0-8. I gotta like Dallas here again. And I've been hot with the teasers, and I don't mean to hop on this, but the line's 7. You got to think Dallas is going to win. If you think the line is too high, move it down to 1. Dallas is going to win this game. So I'll take Dallas there. Maybe move the line down to 1, play with a couple other teams. I like Dallas. That's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go down to South Florida with the Miami Dolphins, a -3 against the New York Jets. Miami coming off a bye. They're up to 3-4. They've done a nice job the last couple of weeks beating the Steelers and beating the Bills. The running back looks like the second coming of Earl Campbell the last couple of weeks. Jets, they're up to 3-5. They have won a couple in a row. Didn't look all that great, but got the win in Cleveland. I don't trust the Jets and Fitzpatrick, and I certainly don't trust them on the road. Miami has shown me some life. They've been home a lot the last month. They're coming off a bye. I got to go with the Dolphins here. They've shown a lot of emotion the last couple weeks. I'm going to say they keep that train rolling. I like the Dolphins -3 at home against the Jets. That's pick number 6. Pick number 7. And this is a game I might pass on. Let's go to Baltimore with the Baltimore Ravens are -2.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore 3-4 coming off a bye. They've lost 4 in a row. Pittsburgh 4-3. They're coming off a bye. They've lost a few in a row. They got all sorts of injuries. I don't think Roethlisberger is going to play. If the Steelers were going to be completely healthy, I'd definitely take them. Without Roethlisberger, I don't know what to make of this game, so I'm going to throw this game out. It's going to be a hard-hitting game, I'm sure. I'm sure it'll be a close game. I'm sure it'll be a low-scoring game. I just have no feel for this game with all the Steeler injuries, especially Roethlisberger. I'm going to pass on that game. Let's go to pick number 8. Let's go out to Santa Clara where the New Orleans Saints are -3 against the San Francisco 49ers. New Orleans up to 3-4. Beat Seattle at home yesterday. Nice home win for the Saints. San Francisco 1-6 off a bye. Listen, I can't say any more negative things about the Niners. I just can't. I've run out of negative things to say. I can't take them. Since winning their opening game, they've lost 6 in a row. They look dreadful. The quarterbacks look bad. Chip Kelly looks lost. You can't take the Niners. The spread's only 3. I know the Saints are shaky on the road, but they have Drew Brees. They have a good offense. That should be more than enough to handle the Niners. I like New Orleans there. It's pick number 8. Pick number 9. Let's go out to L.A. where the Carolina Panthers are -3 against the L.A. Rams. Rams are 3-4 off a bye, have lost 3 in a row. We know their offense is shaky. Quarterback play in the last game in London was horrific with the 4 interceptions. Carolina up to 2-5. Beat up Arizona. The defense finally did something. They had a couple of nice plays. They had a return for a touchdown. Newton and Stewart are back on the offense. So Carolina finally put it all together yesterday. This is a tough game. I never know what I'm getting from the Rams offensively. I really don't. So I'm going to go with Carolina. They showed me some life yesterday. They can score, I know that. Maybe their defense is starting to go in a positive direction. I'll take Carolina there and pick number 9. That's a very tough game, though. Pick number 10. Let's go to the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. With the Green Bay Packers, a -7 against the Indianapolis Colts. Colts down to 3-5, got manhandled by the Chiefs yesterday. Green Bay down to 4-3, lost a heartbreaking game to Atlanta. Green Bay, I'll tell you, despite all the injuries, they were able to move the ball. They just fell short at the end. You have to like Green Bay at home here again, and I know I'm repeating myself. Move the line down to 1. You have to think Green Bay is going to win. Think the line's too high, move it to 1. Play it in combination, tease it down. I like Green Bay. That's pick number 10. Pick number 11. Let's go out to San Diego. Beautiful San Diego with the San Diego Chargers, a -4 against the Tennessee Titans. San Diego down to 3-5, lost a tough game to Denver, couldn't get in at the goal line at the end yesterday. San Diego, I'll tell you, this is where all those losses they should have had, they should have had wins at the beginning of the year, let the game slip away. This is where it really comes back to bite them, because now they're 3-5 in a very, very tough division. So all those games San Diego let slip away at the beginning of the year are really coming back to bite them, because that division is loaded. San Diego could be out of it now. Tennessee 4-4, did a nice job against Jacksonville. I think Tennessee is definitely an improved team. I've said it for weeks. I love the offensive line. Mariota has some ability. They're still not a great team, Tennessee, but that division is weak. As far as this game here, I'm going to go with the Chargers just because they're home. They have shown me some fight the last few weeks. You never know what you're going to get with San Diego, but I'm going to take them here at home against Tennessee. So San Diego -4 against the Titans. That's pick number 11. Pick number 12. Let's go out to the black hole in Oakland, where the Denver Broncos are -1 against the Oakland Raiders. Denver 6-2 beat San Diego. Oakland 6-2 beat Tampa Bay. Oakland's like 5-0 on the road. Oakland won despite having an NFL record 24 penalties. Is that even possible? Are you even allowed to win a game when you have 24 penalties? That was a wild game. Every time Oakland was trying to go for the win, get into Tampa Bay territory, flag, and they still found a way to win. The coach rolled the dice at the end, went for it on 4th down. They get a touchdown. Oakland has had some magic this year. This could be the toughest game on the board, without a doubt. To me, I think this is a flip of the coin game. I can't pick a winner right now. Maybe you move the line. If it goes up to 1.5, I'll move this line to 7.5 and take the Raiders. Right now, I got to say it's a flip of the coin game. This may be a game you just want to watch and enjoy and not bet. So I'm not going to pick that game. Maybe I'll use it in a teaser. If the line goes up, I'll move it up and I'll take the Raiders. So that was pick number 12. Pick number 13. Let's go to Seattle, where the Seattle Seahawks are -6 against the Buffalo Bills. Seattle 4-2-1, lost to New Orleans. I was disappointed in Seattle. They had that big defensive run back for a touchdown yesterday to go up 7-0. And then, New Orleans kind of did what they wanted on offense. New Orleans moved the ball a lot yesterday. I was surprised about that. I know New Orleans' offense is good, especially at home, but I thought Seattle's defense was going to be better. We know Seattle's struggles on offense lately. So Seattle's down to 4-2-1. Buffalo 4-4, lost to New England. We all saw that coming. Gave up 1,000,000 points. You knew when Buffalo beat New England earlier in the year, New England was going to be out for revenge. They got it yesterday. It's a very interesting game. Again, this might be a game you might want to tease down, maybe make it pick 'em. I'll go with Seattle at home. Hard to go with Seattle when they play at home. The fans are so great. That place is so loud. They always find a way to win there. Like I said, you want to move it down to pick 'em. I could see that. Maybe play it in combination, so I like Seattle there. That is pick number 13. And like I said, there are 6 teams with a bye, so those are your picks for NFL week number 9. And I've been hot with those teasers. Boy, I'll tell you, those teasers have been treating me right this year. They are like gold. I am on absolute fire with the teasers. I am doing great with those. Let's see if we can keep it up. All right, let's get to college football. Week number 10. Hard to believe we're in week number 10 as we're almost in November already, as the college football season is winding down. The college football playoff rankings come out tomorrow. Let's get to it. Like I said, 5-1 last week. I was absolutely on fire with my picks last week. Pick number 1. Let's go to Boulder, Colorado, where the Colorado Buffaloes are -12 against the UCLA Bruins. I believe this game is on Thursday night, not Saturday. Colorado, a very impressive 6-2. They've only lost to Michigan and USC, and they were in both of those games. UCLA, very disappointing. 3-5, lost 3 in a row, and their quarterback is out. Have to like Colorado here. If you think the spread is too high, maybe play the money line here, but Colorado at home looks like a solid bet. UCLA, without the quarterback, is going in the wrong direction, and Colorado is one of the better teams nobody's talking about this year. I like the Buffaloes there. It's pick number 1. Pick number 2. Let's go to Cincinnati, where the BYU Cougars are -8 against the Cincinnati Bearcats. Both teams are 4-4, but I'm more impressed with BYU's 4-4. If you look at BYU's schedule, it has been absolute murder this year. They've had so many road games and so many tough trips and so many tough places to play. They've been all over the country. So I've been more impressed with BYU's schedule than Cincinnati's. Cincinnati doesn't impress me all that much this year. So I'm going to go with BYU on the road, -8 against Cincinnati. Another game, maybe you look at the money line. That's pick number 2. Pick number 3, let's go to Minnesota, where the Minnesota Golden Gophers are -16 against the Purdue Boilermakers. Minnesota 6-2, another team like Colorado quietly having a good year. Purdue 3-5, lost 3 in a row and gave up 62 points at home to Penn State. Where do you think I'm going here? Gotta go with Minnesota here. Again, another game you might want to look at the money line if you think the spread is too high, but you gotta think Minnesota is going to get through here. Like Minnesota -16 against Purdue. That's pick number 3. Pick number 4. Let's go to the Grove and Ole Miss, where the Ole Miss Rebels are -27 against the Georgia Southern Eagles. Ole Miss, a very disappointing 3-5. Ole Miss has a lead in all their games and lets it slip away at the end. Again, they were leading Auburn. Auburn came back and beat them. Remember, I took Auburn last week. That was one of my 5 wins. Georgia Southern, they usually run a good program. They've been disappointing this year. They're 4-4, lost 4 of 5, and lost to Appalachian State 34-10 at home. They lost to Appalachian State 34-10 at home. I gotta think Ole Miss at 3-5, after all these tough losses, after letting all these games slip away, that they are going to be looking to pound on someone. Georgia Southern looks like that opponent. I like Ole Miss -27 in the Grove. That's pick number 4. Pick number 5. Let's go out to the Coliseum in LA, where the USC Trojans are -15 against the Oregon Ducks. USC, after the slow start, is 5-3. They've won 4 straight after the quarterback change. They're playing good football. Oregon 3-5, and they've lost 5 of their last 6 games. What has happened to the Mighty Ducks? What has happened to the Mighty Ducks? They don't look like the same team anymore. Maybe we can get Chip Kelly to coach them again. He may be out of a job soon with the Niners. Maybe he can come back to Oregon. As far as this game, you got to love USC. USC should score early and often. I think USC is going to put up 50 in this game. I don't like Oregon on the road at all. They're soft. They give up too many points. USC's pick number 5. Pick number 6. Let's go out to Washington State, where the Washington State Cougars are -15 against the Arizona Wildcats. Washington State 6-2. They've won 6 in a row. Had a big comeback against Oregon State on the road last week. They were down big in this game. Came back and won. So Washington State's having a nice job, doing a nice job this year. Arizona 2-6. What's happened to Rich Rodriguez and the Wildcats? They've lost 5 in a row. Remember when Rich Rod first got there? He was doing a great job. This team is falling apart. Gotta like the Cougars at home here. Cougars should roll. That's pick number 6. And finally, pick number 7. This is where College Game Day will be. So we give Game of the Week. The undefeated and number 1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide, who's been a wrecking crew this year, beating everyone in their path. -7.5 at LSU in a night game in Death Valley. And being it's the spirit of Halloween, being I gotta pick something a little crazy, a little wild, I'm gonna pick LSU here. LSU 5-2. They've won 3 in a row since the quarterback and coaching change. They've looked a lot better. Like I said the last few weeks, playing at night at LSU is impossible. It is one of the toughest environments to play. Now, I know Alabama's great, and they've looked great, and they've blown everyone out. But I'm going to pick LSU here, not only to cover the 7.5, but to pull the upset. LSU knocks off top-ranked Alabama at night in Death Valley, LSU. The LSU Tiger fans will be singing Tiger Bait, all night long. Tigers get it done. They shock the Crimson Tide. LSU wins in Death Valley, so I like LSU +7.5 against Alabama, and that is pick number 7. That is my final pick there. Had to do something a little wild in the spirit of Halloween today. So that is your college football for week number 10. The World Series, the Indians lead 3-2. They go back to Cleveland to try and close it out. Cubs stayed alive yesterday. Still the Indian series. You got to think they have the big advantage right now. They're up 3-2 and they have 2 home games. So that's your World Series. Okay, there you go. You guys are all caught up. You guys are all set. Thanks as always for the support, all the messages. You guys have been great the last few weeks. I've gotten so many great messages, so much supportive stuff on my comment section. Thank you so much, guys. You guys stay happy, healthy, and safe. Enjoy the games. Pick a lot of winners. Make a lot of money. I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Take care.